for Peru. Okay, man, you're up.
All right, Mary.
Thank you. 4 o'clock, Wednesday, February the 18th. I'd like to start out with a motion to approve the board minutes of February the 4th.
I'll make a motion to approve the board minutes.
Second the motion.
Any conversation, questions? Okay. All those in favor, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. Number 2, I need a motion to approve the payment of claims.
Make a motion to approve payment claims.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any discussion? Comments? All those in favor, please vote. Raise your hand. It's unanimous. The next regular meeting will be held on Wednesday, March 4th at 4 p.m. Public comment. Do we have any public today?
Right here.
Today.
Okay. Old business,
No.
new business.
None.
Need an approval, motion to approve the Peru Water Works SRF disbursement request number 11 to Thinman Construction.
I'll make a motion that we approve A.
Second.
Catch me.
Okay. Any discussion? Please vote. Raise your hand. Unanimous. The next regular meeting will be held on Wednesday, March the 4th, 2026, 4 p.m. in this room. Pardon?
We're on new business. We're on B.
Oh,
B.
I don't remember doing that one.
You
Okay.
didn't, but you did.
There you go. You took care of it.
We made it up. Now we're gonna
Okay.
be.
We're ready for 6B. Approve Grissom Chrysler bid for replacing truck number 358.
Make a motion to approve item B.
I'll second.
Thank you. Where is it?
Well within budget, so that's nice. And trade-in on top, that'll be even better.
Make a comment, I think every vehicle purchase that I've overlooked since has all come in under budget, so thank you
We
guys.
already paid for it, so.
Any questions? I mean, is there anything we can talk about? It's got 124,000 miles on it. Like you said, we're gonna trade it in. The approval for this is to trade it in as well. Purchase price of $36,786.25 from Grissom Chrysler
36.
with trade.
Oh,
Yeah, so
sorry, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Yes, you're right, you're
good
right.
question.
Okay. We need to vote on 6B. I need a motion, got a second. All those in favor of doing so? Good job. It's been approved and it's unanimous. 6C. This would be Richard's favorite. That's it. Uncollectible accounts, bad debts.
Make a motion to approve first quarter accounts of bad debts.
Second.
Thank you. Any comments?
I still don't agree with it.
Okay. Anyone else like to say anything? Oh, yes.
I was gonna say Richard can go kick in doors.
Pardon?
Maybe attorney?
You can go kick in
Get some
doors
new
and try
boots.
to.
Richard's our collector now.
Well, just as a reminder,
Show me.
the IURC overall average is 1%, and we're at that 0.28% runoff. So we're well below the state average and the large IOU average of 1% and 3%.
Unfortunately, there is a small cost of doing business. It's just-
And this is part of it. But our recoveries we
know what
recover
you're saying, but
approximately
it's
half
still
like over
Yeah.
time. So yeah. But again, yeah, this is something we're not carrying.
Okay, all in favor, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. 6B, approve the second quarter 2026 electric tracker adjustment.
I'll make a motion to accept 6D.
Second.
Thank you.
So this is a decrease, a slight decrease, over 1,000 kilowatts. First 1,000 kilowatts, it's about a 59-cent decrease. Still a decrease though.
That's right.
And if you look, I've got the comparables up there. I'll read them off. Duke Energy for 1,000 kilowatts with customer charge is $174.95. Heartland REMC is $150.09. Miami Cass REMC is $166.47. NIPSCO is $220.61. AES Indiana is $151.84, and the second quarter rate for Peru Utilities is $131. So we're in that $19 to $20 range, lower than both Heartland and AES, and a significant amount of money less than NIPSCO at $220, which is insane.
I always thought Heartland was more than Miami Cass. Miami Cass recently increased their rates.
They did mid-year last year, I believe. It's their if you look at the per kilowatt, they are less than Heartland, 12.6 and 13. They have a $40 meter charge, customer charge.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So you can use 0 kilowatts, but you're going to pay that $40. Where we have that $10.20 customer charge. So we're actually lower than anybody on that list. So that total charge for that first 1,000 kilowatts on the residential side has a heavier weight. That the facilities charge has a heavier weight there at 1,000. Of course, that spreads out over time. If you were at 2,000, that would mean a little bit less because you're using more. For the ratio of your facilities charge versus your kilowatt hours, but yeah. Now I'll go before the council at the next council meeting.
Okay, I'll take a vote on that. Unanimous. E. Grissom Water Annual Tracker Adjustment.
Make a motion to approve the Grissom Water CPIU adjustment.
So yeah, we call it the tracker. The CPIU is the more accurate, so it's the inflationary adjustment. And we have, this is for Grissom, we have the CPIU. When we did the new rate for Peru water and Peru wastewater, the tiered rate, we put in there that we weren't going to start the inflationary adjustment rate till after all of that was in place, and it's unfair. We're already increasing the rates for projects. We're not going to do that for the inflationary amount as well. So that's why it's only Grissom water, Grissom wastewater. We use the IURC figures for this. These aren't figures that we pull out of a hat. The weighted index for the CPIU. So they use the U as utility, is for the labor index, industrial electric power, industrial chemicals, and then the actual CPI. And their calculation for the year was 3.22% overall. And so we take that and we put that into the formula that Baker Tilly has given us, and it's we pretty much back out all the one-time charges. And so we use operations, our revenue and our operational expenses, and we apply that to operational expense. So the IURC was 3.22%. As an overall, when we put that to the allowable charges, expenses, it's 2.5% for the Grissom water utility, which would be about a 90% or 90-cent increase on a 3,000-gallon bill. 90 cents. Yes, it does. 90-cent increase. I actually have it's a little harder to do this on the water side. This is wastewater, excuse me. A little harder to do this this is a CPI increase for Grissom water from 2021 through 26 each year. This was the percentage. In 2018, we had the 90% increase for the projects. And then we started the CPI after that 2018 increase and after the project got done. So if you compare that to American Water, it's $45, Logansport's $33, Rochester's $36. Now 33, that's out of town Logansport. 36 is out of town Rochester because Grissom is not an in town, so there's a little bit of a couple dollars difference there. I don't want to mislead. Peru is $32.85 and Grissom is $36.72 with this 90-cent increase. So Grissom's right in there with everybody else. Not the highest, not the lowest, but it's an economy of scale. We always talk about there's 1,100, 1,200 meters out there. We don't have large industrial water users out there per se, you know, they have to bear the burden of the maintenance costs a little higher than Peru.
Have we seen an increase on anything out of the prison with the new?
You know, we really haven't.
Okay.
A little bit, but not this huge
Right.
increase. Yeah, no.
Anything they're building up there right now gonna help out on this?
They're not really big water users or wastewater users. The cyclotrons that are going in out there are larger electric users, but they have bathrooms. They don't have a lot of processed water. And the Next Plus building isn't really. There's like 4 cars there during the day. Like, so I don't know that whatever their production is, it's not. They are okay electric users, so they're doing something. It's just there's not a lot of processed water, so it's really bathrooms and fire protection, which Next Plus is the only one that has fire protection, I think. So as far as the fire protection charge, I believe.
Okay.
Let's look into that.
Did you put sprinklers in the AZI?
I believe so.
Okay.
We'll have to check on that. Yeah.
Well,
It's irrelevant, I guess, for this conversation, I suppose. That's all I have, unless somebody has a question.
Okay, would you like to vote on that? The approval of the 2026 Grissom Water Annual CPI-U adjustment, 6B. Those in favor? Unanimous. Boy, I just love this little paper. I mean, the design.
Yeah, well, that's nice. It was a nice update.
Now where are we?
Wastewater.
I
Approval
just-
6F.
You just had to do it.
Since this is helping me keep track of where we're at, where are we again?
And Richard come up with it. 6F, approve the 2026 Grissom Wastewater Annual CPI-U adjustment attachment 6F.
I'll make a motion. Either one of us will make a motion to
I'll
approve
second it.
6F.
1,
We'll just
2,
get a
Second with Richard.
Okay, so this is the wastewater portion of that. And as far as the formula for,
I'll put it back down here.
well, let's
The
get you some.
CPIU formula.
was that 3.22% from the IURC, which would equate to a 3.3% on the wastewater side. For 3,000 gallons, you'd see an increase of about $1.16 on the monthly bill. There's wastewater is a little harder to compare here, because really wastewater and stormwater, when we add things together, there's. So if you look at us, we have a stormwater fee of $4 per room. Our wastewater this in January for 3,000 gallons was $68.37 because of the project financing. So total was $72.37 with stormwater. Logansport's $33 on the wastewater side, but their stormwater fee is $31.38. So for 3,000 gallons, it's $64.68 through them. Grissom doesn't have a stormwater fee. We don't have a stormwater department out there. That's the county's job. This will go to 36.44 for 3,000 gallons. Wabash has a stormwater fee. However, you have to go to Wabash for them to tell you what it is, and Rochester's the same. Rochester looks like Rochester's kind of running into the same thing we are. Their water rates and their wastewater rates have gone up significantly over the last year because they have projects to do like we do. So it's probably not the last increase for them. So I try to go all the way around. Wastewater, American Water does some wastewater, but it's in very different counties. It's few and far between. So it's hard to compare that. So Grissom's right in there with everyone else at that 36.44. Not high, not low, but the future of wastewater in every small community is not $36. It's 70 or 80 with some of these projects. So, and I would think that a regional RSD, a regional sewer districts, I believe they're in the 70s in the area now, 60s and 70s. So we'll be there with them eventually. But right now it's 36.44 for 3,000.
Ready to vote?
Okay, we're ready to go.
Yep.
G,
Nope, gotta vote on that first.
okay, let's have a vote. It's unanimous.
And those will all go to the next city council meeting.
Okay. Approve the sewage works revenue bonds, letter of engagement of Ice Miller.
Motion. I'll make a motion to approve the bond letter of engagement.
I'll second it.
Little discussion here.
This is just their boilerplate, basically backing
Do you know how?
our financial ability to take out bonds for the sewage for the long-term control plan. That's what the first one is. Anything, Dustin, I have not said there.
No, I think that's pretty accurate.
It is a requirement to have a bond council on top of your local council, and Ice Miller has done wonders for us over the last 5, 6, 7 years in the many financings we've done, so highly regarded.
It'd be my recommendation to use them. You know, our finances and situation and projects, good as the rest of us, so. And Lisa's awesome to work with.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
So, you ready to vote?
Yes.
All those in favor, please raise your hand. And it's unanimous. I'm trying to give you a little more room here.
Oh, I got plenty of fun. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, now that you've engaged the floor.
Yep.
Okay, 6F,
6H.
H.
G.
I-
There are two for Ice Miller. Did we just do
Yeah.
We're just doing
We
6G, we're on 6H.
Mark the wrong
Oh, I've
box.
had to revamp things, just calm
That's what
down.
yours
It's
are.
going around.
Yeah, I
Too
know.
much candy.
Just
Any chocolates.
Where'd you get those?
Okay. By the bathroom. I'll bring you some next time.
Let's see, H.
Yeah.
Waterworks review bonds, letter of engagement of Ice Miller, attachment 6A.
I'll make it.
H.
I'll make a
H, thank you.
motion to accept attachment 6H for Ice Miller.
Second.
Okay,
So this is for the $10 million financing for the Peru water lead service line project. But same as last. They have to have a letter of engagement for each project. And both of these, if you read, I think it's on page 2, is estimated costs between $42,000 and $48,000 each. Well, you gotta think, they, like Dustin here, they've gotta have large amounts of insurance
To secure
to
it.
secure saying Peru Utilities revenue is going to be able to afford this financing.
I hope so.
Has it been represented to them?
Right, right. You ready for a vote, Mary?
Okay. I'm looking for it, yeah. Oh, it's over.
It's on the second page.
Thank you, Richard.
You're welcome, Mary.
It's not- Okay. We had a discussion, so now we'll move on to all those in favor? It's unanimous. I approve filter media replacement change order for time extension.
I'll make a motion we accept attachment 6I as written.
Second the motion.
So this isn't money, this isn't anything other than we want to get through winter. The equipment works a little better and we don't risk damage to the equipment or the materials or the water freezing or anything like that. So it's just a time extension required by the IFA if they're gonna go over the time. Same cost.
Okay,
I noticed the delays to the materials were due to BABA constraints. How are our requirements with BABA and how do they fall into that?
That was weird. It used to be American Iron and Steel, but BABA is everything.
Okay.
So there were coatings and things like that, and there were discussions of different media types, and some of them are local and some are not. And when we were starting this, BABA's still brand new. This was one of the first projects that was started completely under BABA. The wastewater plant project was not required to be BABA compliant.
Okay.
So you were calling them and asking, what's the process for getting a waiver? And they're like, boy, we don't know. We're going to make that up and let you know. So that was the delays.
Okay.
It was just,
And then the waivers themselves take a while because they always say, well, we think maybe you can find it better here, and then they give the engineer check with this person or that person, the engineer has to go check with that person, so it just drags.
Is it dependent upon the types of funds though that we're using for these projects?
Yes.
That's what drives us to have to be BABA compliant?
after a certain time period, everything is BABA.
Okay.
And we were ahead of that time
On
on the
that.
last project.
Okay.
It was like, and as it was coming up, we're like, man, it's passed. Are we gonna be under this? And they're like, no, but all your projects from here on out are gonna be.
But because it's federal funds,
Yes.
filtered through
Yes.
the state, yes, to answer your question, yes.
Thank you.
And all the questions go to IDEM, to the EPA. The questions come back from the EPA to IDEM to us.
anything else? Okay, have a vote. All those in favor of approval for the filter media replacement change order? Thank you. Long-term control project plan.
Thank you, Mary. So we did, with your recommendation, we did inform the ISA on the 10th of February that we want to go through the self-financing. And they are moving forward with that. We should know something here in the next 2 to 3 weeks. We should also still know something by the end of the month, at the end of the month, on the total cost of the project. And then, if you remember, I talked about having a kind of an off ramp if the cost of the project was above that financing amount, what our revenue would support. And we asked for extended amount of time, and we were granted that, actually, believe it or not. But it's got its caveats. So it's 2 years and 8 months extra. But the main portion of the project still has to be done under that by the end of October of 28. Oh, let me put the schedule up. Might be a little bit easier to.
Is it based on that on percentage or just checklist items?
This is based on. What do you mean? Like what has to be done in
When they say
28?
the main portion has to be done, are they saying it's like 90% completion?
So
Or?
it has to be complete and ready to be. The main has to be complete and ready for construction monitoring by 10/30/2028. Now, what I mean by the main storage component is we had to break it up into phases. So phase 2, after the construction monitoring through 2029, CSO 2, CSO 3, CSO 16, and CSO 11 on the south side, we have an additional 2 years to complete that. Year and a half ish to complete that. Then we have construction monitoring through 2032 for that. Now, if we can fit the project in financially, we don't need this. However, there's some positives that could come of this if we wanted to. Depending on how the funding works out and depending on how soon because they force us to spend the money within a certain amount of time. You can't just sit on money for 5 years, especially $80 million for 5 years drawing interest on their money. So we get the storage portion, the interior portion, the spritz, the serpentine storage part. We get all of that done and everything through 2nd Street. And we wait through that monitoring period. Maybe CSO 11 doesn't even have to happen. We still got to do German Street. We got a few things we have to do, and maybe CSO 11 doesn't have to happen because we're monitoring. Maybe we finish everything on this side if we have the money, 02, 03, and 016, but we're not accountable for that to work until 2032. So maybe there are ways to cut the project in there to see if it works, and they'll work our way outside of that to get it to full compliance by 2032. But the main portion of it has to be there. That did not change whatsoever. All down 2nd Street, all that storage, the serpentine storage, that all has to get done in that by the end of 2028 for our 1 year of monitoring through 29. But this takes a little pressure off that back end, some of the smaller stuff. Anything you want to add to that?
The main portion, when he's talking about the storage, we are committing to 4 million gallons of storage in the big pipes running down 2nd. Those are the biggest and deepest. And as you get out to the ends of town, everything's gravitating towards the middle, so those are getting shallower. And in some of these storms, they won't fill up with water, so they don't count as storage. We have to have this. We have to have the 4 million gallons. That's the main part.
And then they had told IDEM as pretty much they've drawn the line that you can't have over 9 occurrences, happenings in a 12-month period. Well, if we're not in a hurry on those outside ones, we'll get a better handle for sure on. It's been so dry, and maybe it's dry through this whole process for the next 2 years. Maybe we don't have. Maybe there's some adjustment. Maybe there's more adjustment we have to do on those. We don't know. But again, it's going to be within the time constraints of the money, because that money can't just sit there. We have to spend the money on the project when they give it to us. So this isn't a bad thing. This is a good off ramp for us in both of those ways, that cost overruns, or just simply not spending the money to do something that not creating a problem that we don't need to solve. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need to solve a problem that we don't have.
So, go ahead. So 9 occurrences is the monitoring period, and it'll be the determined amount for future.
Mm-hmm. They were double digit. They kept saying, we don't want double digits. We don't want double digit overflows. We don't want double. So.
How does it work if you do the middle phases of the project, it reduces your occurrence so that you're in compliance. You don't potentially use the additional funds to do 02, 03, 16, and 11. What do you do with those funds?
We have to spend the money. We have to spend the money
We
on
have to spend
that
it.
project somehow.
There's nothing. you
So
can
we
do to
so we
reduce
bolster,
the debt.
beef up. No, they won't. I mean, they'll take it back. Don't get me wrong. We'll take it. They'll take it back, but your payment's exactly the same for the exact. For
Paying for the same.
Yeah.
You just ended earlier.
yeah, you just
You'd
did.
end your terms earlier.
Yeah,
Not really.
and they don't like doing that. They're very front on that very much. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you go back and get any more, you probably wouldn't get it.
Yeah, they kind of lock you. It's weird. They just kind of lock you in because I guess they just don't want the. I'd be willing to bet that they don't have too many places that give money back. Now I don't know, but hopefully, maybe some of you are still on the board 10 years from when we close on this loan. We can't refinance it for 10 years. 9 years and 6 months, we need to be looking into that. I hope I'm not here. I hope I'm retired. But 9 years and 6 months, we need to look into that and see if we can lower the burden on the ratepayers from that perspective. She's smiling. She's thinking I'll be.
People still here.
Rates would have to come down significantly.
Yeah, they would. Well, it depends on the open market stuff is going to be.
Right, and
Yeah.
we don't have the rating that the state does. We pay a slight premium.
Yep.
We need COVID or something to happen again. For one time, low of interest rates, otherwise, you can't trust the government to help us.
Anything else I'm not thinking of? That's all I have. No more questions on that?
No.
City administrative update.
Nobody's here from the city.
City attorney's update.
So, as we have discussed the last 4 or 5 meetings about the old railbed crossing on 31, the guy came back at us with 8,500 for permanent easement across US 31. Still think that's too high, still think that's excessive. And plus, we would need it appraised before we could make an offer or just accept an offer, so. Yeah, I don't know.
Too high.
And still keeps coming down. I mean, we'll continue to stonewall until.
Mike and I believe it's still too high. Yeah.
Do we pay for any other easements that we have?
Yeah, some like the railroad crossings we pay to go under those currently, with our water, sewage.
We bought an easement off of Mr. Hankey on Canal Street for the second river crossing that we are going to build but haven't.
So was that a set dollar amount, or how did we basically what I'm looking at is if we get to the point we have to pay this guy for easement access, what is the standard or past amount that we've agreed to on an easement?
There's no hard and fast set
Okay.
easement amount. Again, you get it appraised, see what the actual
Right.
encroachment's worth. I mean, if it's aerial, if we're doing a lot on there, if we're constructing on it or putting poles in it,
Right.
okay, well, there's more encroachment than underground, it's less you can use, plus you can't build on it. It just comes down to the size of the easement, what the intent and purpose of the easement. A lot of the times you'll see just a lump sum paid out and then perpetual. There are purely lease, essentially, easements
like
where
with the
you pay a
railroad.
yearly
Okay.
amount. Well, for the railroad, that one was different. I mean, we paid a lump sum for a set number of years, and then I don't know when that's due again, but I know that was under my time.
Probably a good ticker list item to.
It's
knock
when we
off
push
is-
off and
When is that going to happen?
outside out of mind.
Yeah.
So you have to have a specific person do that.
Right.
And you can't just have the local guy do the.
Yeah.
So,
Remind me, is it just aerial easement or is it for overpass?
It's aerial.
And
he
like-
wants to be able to give us the aerial rights and for the actual pole itself, where it sets on his property,
three-
encroaches on his property,
The
but
3 foot on
3
his
foot.
property.
Maybe.
But he's trying to extend the entire thing as an easement, not just where we're at. So he's trying to sell the bridge. You have rights, you have entry rights
Basically,
on
he
the
bought
bridge.
it for
you have-
cheap and he's trying to get us to pay him more than what he paid for
I'm
it
still
just to be able to
curious,
use it.
if
That's a
let-
thought.
us paying
Yeah.
money doesn't, I
Exactly.
mean, how's that affect liability? Cause I mentioned, you know, what's the, just safety, what does the bridge look like? I went and looked, I mean, it's patched up with cement.
Well,
Yeah,
we
there's a
wouldn't
truck hit it a couple
accept
years
that
ago.
part of the easement. We would say no. We only want the only easement, because we have access from our side
Mhm.
to that property. So we don't need access across, we don't need any of that. We wouldn't accept any of that.
Okay.
We want our square foot, like.
we can access.
Because we can
from
already
both
access the
sides.
property.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just didn't know if it would
words,
change
but-
liability if, you know, you do something that's not standard as far as, you know, end up paying possibly, or maybe not, some amount.
No, there wouldn't be, unless they can say we were negligent in the construction of the pole or maintaining it or something, but then we have to have knowledge of a defect or anything, but very minimal chance of liability.
I think about a fourth of what he's asking for is be forever would be
Because
enough.
we're gonna have a couple thousand in the assessment of the property alone. I can't remember, it was like $1,400. I can't remember what it was. It's been such a long time, but it's not cheap. The appraiser's not cheap because you gotta bring him in from
Yeah,
major
you
city. South Bend or Fort Wayne.
has to be qualified for this type of work, easements and utilities.
I'm sorry I didn't get back to you on that. I remember you sent me an email on that.
No worries.
I think that's it, Fred. Yeah.
Well, that was the city attorney's update. Now it's time for the manager's update.
The waterworks bond ordinance went in front of the city council last week for the first reading. Got to come back next month for passing. I can't imagine why they wouldn't pass it. That's a lot of good questions, and I think once we get full on, maybe Jamie and I will just go up there in that public meeting and start discussing what's going to happen and give them a little bigger picture of everything. And on Monday we had a car hit a guy wire or a static line, kind of made lights flicker all over town. Mike could probably describe it a little better.
He clipped a guy wire on one of the transmission poles, and the static pulled through the shoe, and it dropped down into the transmission, and then the distribution below that as well. So basically anything that was tied to that transmission line, which includes every substation in the city itself, was seeing fluctuating voltages. So anyone in the city limits probably saw their lights getting brighter and giving out, and there might have even been a period where the reclosers operated and there was no power at all.
I was gonna say, my computer, this was Monday,
Yes.
Monday, what, 9 a.m., 9:15?
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
that would explain why
Clicker.
We saw
Desktop
light
had to went out.
flashes at the school and I lost power out of town, so.
my desktop went out.
A lot of amperage sitting there when that happens.
Yeah, that was on
It messed his
computer.
car up pretty good.
It burned a hole in his hood.
Yeah.
So he did see voltage at the car.
But he was okay, probably very, very scared. I would have been, and so that's why that happened. The guys did a good job of getting everything moving forward again, knocked Smithfield out for a bit. So if anyone's curious about that, that's what happened. Those things happen.
Now, where did it happen? Up by Smithfield?
The intersection of Wallace and South Broadway 19. Right there.
Down 19.
Okay, thank you.
That's all I got.
Okay, so now I need a motion for an adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second motion.
All those in favor?